Hello and welcome. I'm Arjun Sky, also known as the Dark Librarian for some apparent reason. And Warhammer 40k has launched is going to make now Warhammer 40k. Excuse me. For Age of Sigmar, we're going to get to know warbands for Warhammer Underworld Nightvault, and there's a few. Well, there are two warband focuses. One being Mollog's mob, and the other one being the God Sword. Let's look at what they had to do for this little thing we have right here for the Mollog's mob. Now, let's see what they say. Mollog's mob turns Warhammer Underworlds on its head, not so much as a warband as a single super powerful fighter and his support team. Brutally effective in aggressive play, you'll find Mollog's mob run fun, fast, and completely unlike any other warbands you've played before. Let's take a look. They say fun and fast. I don't think there's anything faster than how I play Blood Reavers. It's just like go 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 go. Now let's see what they say about Mollog the Mighty, which is this big handsome dude with mushrooms on him and a toad. I should really get this one. Here he is, Warhammer Underworld's single most powerful fighter. Mollog is an absolute beast before you factor in his special rules. With them, he is a living wrecking ball, capable of single-handedly dispatching entire warbands with a few swings of his club. A hefty 7 wounds, on the other hand, allow Mollog to weather the enemy assault while preparing a deadly counter-strike. Let's see what he has. Okay, so this guy becomes inspired if there are 3 or more wound tokens on this card. Let's see. Now, first of all, he has Makeshift Club, which has a range of 2. You need 2 hammers to hit, and does 3 damage. And Whirling Club, which has a range of 1, it needs 2 daggers, and it does 2 damage. He moves 3 hexes, has a defense of 1, and 7 wounds. Let's see what else they say. This fighter can make a move or charge action even if it has a single move token, but not if it has any charge tokens. Whirling Club. Target all adjacent enemy fighters. Roll for each one. So he gains a lot of dice with this guy. His inspired form doesn't change his stat that much. Let's see what else this gives us. The fighter can make a move or charge action even if it has a single move token or charge action token, but not if it has both of them, or more than one of either. So basically the inspired version just makes this ability to charge and move even if it has one move token left more usable. The Whirling Club does the same thing. Okay. As for my expertise, I guess, way of thinking, I think this is very... I don't think they can really build much with the Inspire for him. Quite frankly, his normal stats seem to be pretty good. Defense of 1, 3 hexes, 7 wounds, that helps a lot. He does some pretty good damage right here. And really, they couldn't really just buff him up some more because that would have made him more overpowered. So by itself is good. Mollog is unique among fighters in Warhammer Underworld in that he can charge even if he has a move token. And when he's inspired, he can charge even if he has a charge token. Mollog becomes inspired once he's taken some damage, meaning it's rarely a case of if, but when. Now let's look at the Bat Squig. The other fighters in Mollog's warband aren't particularly tough, but excel at harassing enemies and generally being a nuisance to deal with. Bat Squig is a perfect example. While it's incapable of taking objectives, it's incredibly fast, with 3 dodge making it nightmarish to pin down once inspired. You want to use this little guy to set up key support for when Mollog attacks. Let's see. He has Tutti Maul, which has a 1 range, 2 daggers, and 1 damage. He can move 4 hexes, dodge 2, and he has 2 health. The fighter treats little hexes as normal hexes and can move through occupied hexes, but cannot end their move in an occupied hex. This fighter cannot be given attack, action, upgrade, or hold objectives. So very important, Bat Squig can only harass things. It is very unlikely to basically get objectives with him. Now his inspired form says the same thing, but his dodge roll increases. Taking into consideration that this thing is flying, it already has an advantage. Now let's look at the Stalasquig. Stalasquig isn't so much a fighter as a particular deadly piece of terrain. That's the new one. One that's key to success with Mollog's mob. Deployable in any unoccupied hex, including objectives. This guy lets you undermine enemy plans before they even have a chance to get started. This guy can't move. He has Rockmaw, which has a range of 1. You need 1 hammer and does 1 damage. If there are 3 wound or more wounds token on the friendly Mollog's fighter card, he gets inspired. He has a defense of 2 and 2 health. His inspired form doesn't change his stats, but it gives him this. Well, I think we should look at the uninspired one's ability. This fighter is not placed during set or counted when determined who finished placing the Warband first. Before determined who has the first activation in the first round, place this fighter on any empty hex. The fighter cannot be given attack action, upgrade, make moves, or charge actions. Be pushed or hold objectives. This guy is basically a piece of terrain that attacks back. Now for his inspired form, his Rockmaw doesn't change his range, but it changes his hammers. It needs 2 hammers to do 2 damage. And the text is something on the lines of, this fighter cannot be given attack, action, upgrade, make move, or actions, or be pushed or hold objectives. Which makes sense because this thing, right, because the bigger part of it was just saying you can put him in whatever you want as long as it's not an occupied hex. Now let's look at the Spitshroom. Lastly, we got the Spitshroom, a self-detonating mushroom that's deceptively useful, with the ability to hit multiple foes at once. Spitshroom is great for finishing fighters who have been weakened by Mollog. Would have thought. Now let's see. Now his Cronking Cloud has a range of 1 and needs 2 daggers and does 1 damage. Target all adjacent enemy fighters. Roll for each. Again, that's very good. It gets inspired if there are 3 or more wounds token on a friendly Mollog's fighter card. At this point, the only thing that can really get... Wow. I just realized something. But I'm gonna talk about it at the end. It has 2 movement speed, it has dodge, and 2 health. This fighter cannot be given attack, action, upgrades, or hold objectives. Reaction. During an attack action or gambit that has dealt enough damage to this fighter to take it out of action, but before removing it from the battlefield, adjacent enemy fighters suffer 1 damage. Yes, this is where the detonate comes in from. Now, his Choking Cloud gets 1 more damage in his inspired form. Target all adjacent enemy fighters, roll for each, of course. This fighter cannot be given action, upgrades, or hold objectives. Reaction during an attack, action, or gambit. His inspired form just changes the damage he takes, the damage he does. Also increases his dodge from 1 to 2. Okay, now they're gonna run in tactics, run in smash, everything, right? What I want to talk about it. Every one of these needs a creature to have 3 wound tokens on them to get inspired. So the best option is to use Mollog the Mighty to get hurt. And after he gets hurt, you get all the benefits from the other guys. Because it is the only logical solution. Their inspired form needs 3 wound tokens to become inspired, basically. But by using the Mollog the Mighty to get the damage and to get those 3 points of damage and get everybody inspired can really help. Though their inspired forms help a little bit. I mean, technically the only useful one is Mollog the Mighty, followed by the Squig Bat. And, well, I don't know what to say about that. this one's basically a piece of terrain, and this one's a self-destruct bomb, which can also be useful. But the Warband has the most important, or the Warband's most important player is Mollog the Mighty. So you just basically want to use him to charge, move, to charge, to attack, to basically get hit, so everybody gets inspired. And yeah, let's see what they say for tactics. Want to smash everything, right? Well, it's not quite that simple. Mollog's mob is surprisingly nuanced warband, one where victory or defeat hinges on single fighter. Of course it does. Mastering the warband means knowing when to strike, when to take risk, and when it's worth holding back, as well as getting to grips with the smaller fighters in the warband, because these guys will die pretty fast if you just neglect them and let the opponent come to them. And your opponent worth their shade glass will try to take Mollog down as quickly as possible. So you want to turn this into your advantage whenever possible. And let's look at the cards, because we're going to talk about the cards, and I want to talk about them too. Let's see. We have Shrouded in Gloom, which is a reaction card, action card, I forgot what they're called at the moment. Ghosts of an impenetrable shadow conceal hidden threats. Attack action with a range of 3 or more in the next activation has a dice characteristic before other modifiers of daggers 1. Horrific Stench. Few formations can hold against the pugency of Nightvault Troll. Enemy fighters adjacent to this fighter are considered to have 1 fewer supporting fighters, to a minimum of 0. So this one can really be well if they try to gang up on Mollog, they get fewer fighters, and that's pretty good. They get little support, and that's amazing. Goddamn. I can't really read this one well. Okay, something about a Trog alone is a good way to get killed. Facing a Trog together is a good way to all get killed. Okay. This is one of those things that costs victory points. The score is immediately at the beginning of your activation if there are 3 or more enemy agents, advanced enemies, Mollog, whatever. I guess you get just 2 of those victory conditions. So Shadow Gloom will help prevent enemies from picking you at range, while Horrific Stench allows you to engage much more safely with large groups. Meanwhile, Goddamn gives you some glory, yes, glory points, for being next to the enemy fighters, allowing you to grab key upgrades early on. So this is a very good card to get at your first turn, and to basically put them on. Let's look at the final cards we have here. We have Hobble, and Shakespeare, even the rocks can be trusted. Choose an enemy fighter adjacent to a friendly Stalag Squig and roll an attack dice. On a roll of a hammer or success, critical success, place a move token next to that enemy fighter, which renders him basically useless to move. There the whole time. Stalag Squig's greatest defense is the ability to hide in plain sight, if you say so. Stalag Squig's greatest defense is the ability to hide in plain sight. Roll an attack dice. On a hammer or critical success, turn a friendly Stalag Squig that has been taken out of action to an enemy hex on the battlefield. Rooted to the spot. The fungal sediment of a Stalag Squig quickly subsumes nearby objects. This fighter can hold objectives even though it's a fighter card says it cannot. So basically, rooted to the spot means you can put him on an objective, get this card, use it, and you get an objective, and that's pretty good. You'll be able to grab more. Okay, so they're going to talk about Mollog's mob. Now, what is my impression of this? Let's see how much it's been. It can be really fun to play this. I have to say, it can be really fun to play this. You need to know what you're doing. You can't just go in blindly and hope things will go your way just because you have these guys. And bad way to play is just to put your warband somewhere and then expect them to be like, yeah, they're going to do stuff, and I'm gonna use Mollog the Mighty to smash everything. Even though excuse me for that. Even though Mollog the Mighty might seem like a good choice to use because he's pretty strong, I guess against some Stormcast Eternals, he might really be in a bad pickle because without that card that basically gives a stench thing. Because if they gang up on him and he's pretty much dead, the others are useless. I mean, there might be some chance to take back in the game and somehow win, but my god, if you really get this Mollog killed, this one is one that needs to play more safely. And I've seen a lot of warbands that need this. For example, when I first got Shadespire while playing with my wife using Gorex Reavers, I thought, well, they're Chrome worshippers, so the best idea is just kill somebody. Which proved to be pretty wrong. Until my strategy was simple: go for the objectives, fight if need be, and use cards. So, look, fine. This game is one that needs smart thinking. But don't tell me your first reaction isn't to just Mollog squash and use him to basically squash everything. Yeah, I think this might be really fun to play, but I think it has a higher difficulty rating than, for example, something else. Now, for example, the Stormcast Eternal. I think they're more difficult than the normal Stormcast. The Steelheart's champions, yes. But still, it's one that should be played if you have some experience with playing Shadespire. Well, this is all for now. Thank you for watching.